The Bills are returning back to Buffalo right now after a playoff loss in Jacksonville. We're taking a live look now at the Air Cargo Center near the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. Rochelle Lean has been out there over the last few hours where fans have started to trickle in. Rochelle, what's the scene like there now?
Alex, let's talk about what a difference an hour can make. When we first got out here, we saw about 15 people. Take a look behind me right now. We're up to about 100, maybe over 100 people now lined up against this fence, waiting for that plane to land. We're expecting that team plane to touch down here any minute now. Fans are braving the cold. It's a little bit warmer than it was last week by about 10 to 15 degrees, but it's still freezing out here. And there are 100+ people in blankets and shirts and Bills scarves. They have flags, cowbells out here. There are grandparents, parents, even children out here waiting to catch a glimpse of their team that they say worked so hard for them this season. Take a look over here, Alex. We're about 3 rows deep again. Same thing like last week. Not as many people, but definitely fans out here braving the cold to see their team. Back to you.
Yeah, and Rochelle, let's talk about last week a little bit. You were out there back then, certainly a lot more people like you were saying, but it was certainly a great show of support. The first playoff appearance, as we've mentioned many times, in 18 years. What was the atmosphere like then compared to now after the season ended?
You know, definitely was an atmosphere of excitement. And there's still definitely excitement out here as well. A lot of fans last week and this week telling me they're just grateful the drought is over. One person likened it to a 17-year-old monkey being on the city's back, and he said it's finally lifted. The drought is finally over. You can hear the excitement they're cheering right now. That's the excitement, Alex, that I'm talking about. Fans are obviously disappointed at how the game ended today, but still very excited that the drought is over and really just proud to see what their team has done in one season, really turning things around. We're getting word that the plane should be here any minute now. We're seeing some crews on the ground on the other side of the fence waving in the air. The plane should be landing any minute now. Alex, I'm going to toss it back to you while we wait to see that plane land.
Of course, that game ended in a 10-3 final. It was a game that the Bills certainly had a chance to win. We can show you a few highlights here while we're waiting for that plane to come in. Or this is actually from some fan video from Jacksonville a little bit earlier. Let's see if we can get some shots of the game a little bit earlier as Bills traveled certainly very well over there. But yeah, the game, it was kind of what you expected. The Jaguars, one of the best defenses in the NFL. You see right there, they got the interception, and that was kind of the story of the game. It was a real field position battle between the Bills and the Jaguars. Bills were able to just get a field goal before the half, and then the Jaguars went right back and did the same thing. You see this offside penalty right there allowed them to get first and goal at the 1. They were never able to punch it in from there. That's what resulted in that field goal. Jaguars, of course, would get the lone touchdown of the game. Bills just couldn't respond. Blake Bortles did too much on the ground there. We're going to get back out to Rochelle Lean now over at the airport as the plane is starting to come down. What are you seeing out there now?
Alex, a plane has just landed right behind us. Can you tell by all the chants going on here? The plane has landed. Everybody, of course, anxiously awaiting to see their players get off their plane. I spoke to one fan. He's made a sign that's listed every single player on the Bills roster, every staff member on the Bills team, and he just wants to thank them for defending their dirt at home and away and for really turning the team around this season. He's hoping to meet those players, shake their hand, and just thank them for giving the city what he says is hope once again. Again, the plane has just landed. We're now waiting for those players to get off. You can see we have signs out here. We have flags. There's a kid sitting on his father's shoulders. A big theme out here, too, has been the fandom between parents and children. I spoke to a lot of parents who said that the ending of this drought was not really as big for them as it was for their kids. It was such an amazing experience for parents to share with their kids who are also, of course, Bills fans. It's been an amazing time for them. I'm going to pause right now so you can hear the fans chanting as they wait for those players. What a way to come back after today's game. I'm sure the players, this will be a sight for sore eyes after they get off that plane to see their fan base waiting with open arms, welcoming them and thanking them again for such an amazing season. Okay, we have the first people off the plane. First people off the plane here. We have some players starting to get off, as you can see, and fans are going absolutely wild out here. Fans out here are ecstatic. Like I said, Alex, obviously not as many people as there were last week, but definitely a lot of excitement out here as they get a glimpse of their players. Everybody's kind of moving down the fence now to see their players as they move. We're going to get closer to the fence to see if we can get a closer shot of them. This is absolutely incredible. We're going to move now down the line to get a closer shot of the players as they start getting off of the plane. Take a look again. All these fans are starting to shift down and follow the players as they get off. We're going to move further down to see if we can catch a glimpse of those players now.
Well, as you're moving, I think it's a good chance to reflect on the season a little bit. At the beginning of the season, you've got a brand new coach, you have a brand new GM. You trade away the top receiver in Sammy Watkins. You lose your #1 receiver in Stephon Gilmore to free agency. You trade away your other top corner, Ronald Darby, to Philadelphia. You're set up with 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks for this next year. A lot of people looking at the Bills just building for the future and maybe tanking this year. But my goodness, it certainly turned out to not be that way. Coach McDermott had mentioned all throughout the season that they wanted to win now and in the future. And he ended up showing that that was true. They get to 9-7, just barely get into the playoffs, but certainly not a point where the people would have expected, given all those big names who left. And of course, Marcel Darius being traded to Jacksonville as well. The former 3rd overall pick to the Bills back in 2011. A lot of big names left, but left a lot of big players with heart, including Kyle Williams, who has been here a very long time, getting in his first postseason. Very memorable one for him. Just a really cool season for the Bills altogether.
We actually have fans out here chanting, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," as the players get off the plane. I spoke to a lot of them who again said they're just grateful the drought is over. What they're really looking forward to, they're telling me, this season and going into off-season into next season is rebuilding the offense. A lot of people say they're hoping in the draft we pick up some new offensive players, and some also said they want to see potentially a new offensive coordinator. But again, as you can hear, right now they're just grateful that drought is over. They're chanting thank you once again as more players get off that plane, Alex.
Sound of the Bills Mafia watching as the team gets back, finishing their 9-7 season. They lost 10-3 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, finishing the 2017 regular season. Their first time in the playoffs since the 1999 regular season. The Bills fans thanking the team for finally making it back to the postseason. Very memorable season, especially the way that the regular season ended with some help from Cincinnati. They sure made Cincinnati and Andy Dalton and their wide receiver Boyd, who caught the winning catch, donating so much money to each of the players' foundations. Another really cool story in all of this.
Absolutely, and absolutely. Andy Dalton also getting some big thank yous. I actually saw a couple fans out here with jerseys that had Dalton's name. There were Bills jerseys that had Dalton's name on the back of it. A lot of Buffalo fans also, of course, very grateful to him for helping and ending this drought. I'm going to take you back out here and put my microphone up. You can hear the fans again. They're just cheering and thanking these players as they walk by, Alex. An absolutely incredible turnout. It's hard to believe that this is a team that may have lost the game because fans out here are just so pumped, so grateful. They're clapping and cheering, grateful for how the season played out overall, and excited to see where this team goes in the future. Take a listen.
Fans young and old out there, Rochelle. Some of them getting their first taste of the playoff action. Sure, a moment they're not going to forget.
And that's been a big theme out here. You see, you can see there's some kids actually sitting on their parents' shoulders. A little girl over here, a little boy right next to me. And that's been a big thing for a lot of parents I spoke to, that while the drought and seeing it end has been symbolic for them as older fans, it's been such an amazing moment for parents across the region to share this moment with their kids and to have them catch a glimpse of this team as they get off the plane and just really share this moment from one older fan to another fan. Absolutely incredible.
I see one fan out there, looks like he's only wearing a t-shirt out there. I'm hoping that people are dressed fairly appropriately out there. It's been cold, but it also says for the temperatures being as bad as they've been, this kind of turnout, that's pretty great.
It's amazing, Alex. Yeah, there are a couple fans that are dressed in some short jerseys and t-shirts, but apparently they can't feel the cold. They're just pumped up and happy to catch a glimpse of those players. It looks like the last player has left the plane. They're now going to head over to where the players' cars will be driving out, and they'll be seeing those players off. We're going to sign off for now, but we'll be back showing you guys as they give those players a true send-off here. For now in Cheektowaga, Rochelle Oline, Spectrum News.
All right, Rochelle, yeah, it's a great end of the season there. Not the one that they want, but hey, once again, Bills ending that 17-season playoff drought. First time in the playoffs since the 1999 season. And the fans definitely showing that it's something they appreciate. That's Rochelle Oline over near the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. We'll continue to bring you all the coverage of the Bills' final game of the season right here on Spectrum News.